Welcome to United Unitarian Universalist Congregation. My name is Reverend David Kramer, minister here at this church. With me today is Alex Chilson, our music director, Dennis Reynolds, our director of religious education, and Meg Whaley, chair of our religious services committee. This is a pre-recorded video service. It will be available on our website throughout the week. During this time of limited travel and social distancing, I hope it helps you stay connected to this caring community. Please also pay extra attention to the Monday, Tuesday, and Friday email posts to keep you up to date. I have a few things to lift up. The first is that this month's Soul Matters packets were made available by email this past week. While we will not be offering our usual in-person gatherings over pizza or coffee, we will hold an online meeting via Zoom at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. The link to join in was sent with the packet. We will send it again early this week. Second, starting in 2 weeks on April 19th, we will begin a 4-part discussion group of the UUA Common Read, which is an Indigenous Peoples History of the United States by Roxanne Dunbar Ortiz. The pandemic gives us an opportunity to dig into this book and to find yet another way to connect during the quarantine. Please email me if you are interested so I can send you a link to join the conversation. Last, as we have done for the past 2 Sundays, we will hold an online coffee hour today starting at 11:30 a.m. via Zoom. Along with the email inviting you to this service is a link to the call. So far, we've had more than 20 people join us each Sunday. If you are still new to Zoom, it's easy, I keep saying that. Just click on the link we give you, follow it, and go through the instructions. So today is Palm Sunday, a day of triumph in Christian tradition, and it doesn't feel so much like that right now. We are already tired of the siege, tired of dealing with piled up email and empty days or stir-crazy children. We are looking at more weeks of this. On the other hand, and on a much lighter note, today also is First Contact Day for Star Trek fans, which marks the day in 2063 when humans make their first contact with Vulcans. In light of all of the changes we are now forced into by this pandemic, live long and prosper. Please join me in lighting our chalice. May this flame kindle within us the warmth of compassion, the glow of love, the light of commitment, and the light of truth. Here together we scatter and nurture seeds of spirit, service, and community. And now we're going to sing together. If you have hymnals, it is number 159 in your gray hymnal. This is my song. We did include some instructions on how you might be able to order a hymnal if you wish, or if you would like, please email me or Patty in the office, and we'll bring you a hymnal. Let's begin. This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace for lands of far and wide. This is my hope. message just for the children. We've been doing this one every week too. It's just a joy to have him come up. And I know that he's got something fun for us. Dennis.
Good morning. My name is Dennis Reynolds, and I'm the Director of Religious Education here at United. And today I brought in a pot full of dirt. That's not very fantastic, but my house is just covered in these. Mrs. Reynolds last night was putting dirt in all sorts of pots, and this one on the front says cucumber. And I am very excited to see if cucumbers will actually come out of this dirt. So I read online that it only takes about 10 days and then a little sprout will start to show. And this reminds me that sometimes, even in things that we don't think are very exciting or are a really big deal, that there's something hidden inside them that's just waiting to come out. So as we anticipate Easter, I'd like all the kids to think about something that might be real ordinary in their lives this week that has a big, big meaning.
Thanks, Alex. Dennis. Yeah, we can't wait for picks. This is good. And now I would invite you into a time of meditation, quiet reflection, prayer. I want to say that in this time of social distancing, I have made a gratitude practice every day, and it has helped. Take a few moments to think about what it is that you are grateful for. Peggy Ann Harris from this congregation offers up a prayer for us today. In the name of the one God, Mother, Father of us all and of everything, we are one mind. In light of holy wisdom, we are one heart in the radiance of pure love. We are one body in the resonance of divine power. All of creation is one in light of love and power, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be. Amen. So I have not been out much these past few weeks. You likely not either. I have been to the grocery store twice, and more than a few times out for a walk, always a respectful distance away from others. If you are in the store, there is a new grocery store routine in which you check out the aisle before turning in, and if someone is there, you skip over that aisle and do another one until the first one is clear. And I know that even more of you are receiving groceries delivered or at the door of the grocery store. Outside, people are also keeping their distance. I am impressed with how good people have been. They seem to get it. The hot breath of this is on the back of our necks. So when we meet at a distance, there is eye contact, because that's the only contact you can make. There's a need to say, "Hi, how are you? It's spring. Things are greening up. Life's weird, isn't it?" Connection is a human need. We make a practice of connection each week in this congregation, lifting up bits and pieces of our lives, our joys, and our sorrows. This week, I want to share with you that Monty Whaley and Meg lost a brother-in-law in Florida to the virus. His name was Jerry. He left behind Monty's sister, Minnow. Please hold Monty and Meg and Minnow and the whole family in your hearts. We are just now beginning to see it, the real effects of this virus in people that we know. Also, in this time of joys and sorrows, as we did last week, I want to lift up a few people whom I don't know have any particular events in their lives, but who I want to recognize. And so today, I am grateful for Dave and Maria Hinners, Rick Blond and Emma Keppel, Claudine and Jerry Dornack, Patty Keys, and Sam Silver. For all of us, let's sing. Walking with you is our prayer. Our reading today comes from George Odell. We need one another. It is in the back of your hymnals, number 468, if you wish to follow along. We need one another when we would mourn and would be comforted.
We need one another when we are in trouble and afraid.
We need one another when we are in despair, in temptation, and need to be recalled to our best selves again.
We need one another when we would accomplish some great purpose and cannot do it alone.
We need one another in the hour of success, when we would look for someone to share our triumphs.
We need one another in the hour of defeat, when with encouragement we might endure and stand again.
We need one another when we would come to die and would have gentle hands prepare us for the journey.
All our lives we are in need, and others are in need of us.
So today I want to talk about being sorry. We who are progressive, especially if we are white and middle class, get accused of this, right? Of being bleeding hearts, snowflakes. We are sorry for our privilege, for the inheritance of colonialism and slavery and global politics that have made us the shills of war. We recognize how complicit we have been in the long history of this, and we don't really quite know what to do with that. Right now in the pandemic, we might also feel like we're the overly cautious ones, and that's frustrating too, because if we really could control the virus, well, then nothing would happen. You might be sorry for the world right now. Sorry you can't help more people. Sorry you are stuck in your house and can't do anything about it. What I have for you today is a part of a much longer sermon I wrote sometime before the quarantine. It is too long to do all in one piece online, but it takes sorry seriously, and then takes the next step to begin to do something about it, to move beyond sorry into action. Because without that, we're just stuck. We melt like snowflakes, like they say. So I'll start by saying it seems to me there are several kinds of sorry. There is the sorry you can say, for example, when someone you know loses someone else in their life. I'm sorry they died, you say, and you are. Even though you did not know them and their loss does not affect you directly, you are sorry because you are empathetic, because you are compassionate, which is to say you suffer with. And I'm thinking we are going to need a lot more of that kind of sorry in the next weeks. Sorry for this pandemic, for its opportunism, and for the inevitable injustice of it. One of the truths of the pandemic is how interconnected we are. There is also the kind of sorry you say when you are not either the one who has committed the wrong or the one who has been harmed. Maybe you are the one who is coming out ahead a little, but you're still not going to change that. As when you inherit the grandfather clock and your sister does not. Even though you both loved it, and now it's yours, and she's angry. And this makes you feel really bad for her, and maybe also a little bit guilty. But no matter how bad you feel, you are not going to give up that clock because you love it. And they gave it to you. And you can say you are sorry over and over again, and still your sister is ticked. And you think, why can't she see that this isn't my fault? Even if it's unfair, it's yours, so sorry. This actually happened to me, only in reverse. My sister is the one with the clock. In cases like this, sorry is not always so well received. You are not, your sister says in anger. You are just saying that. It occurs to me that privilege is a little bit like this, a gift that you have received, not because of anything that you did, but which you are not going to give up. And you can get a little defensive about this, more than a little. And even if you say you are sorry, well, what does that really mean? And then there is the kind of sorry that really is about you and what you can do about it, even if it's hard and you didn't mean it. Sorry for the missteps of everyday life, assumptions, things we say, microaggressions, harm that we didn't even realize. We're going to come back on this in a couple of weeks because here really is a place where we can and should move beyond sorry. But what I want to leave you with today is that even in this sorry state of the world these days, there are indications we are moving ahead. For one thing, I am struck by how decent we are being with each other now. If you are out at the grocery or at the park, as I said, during joys and sorrows, you know that people, for the most part, are keeping their distance. They are being respectful. They're being decent. I know that soon people are going to get tired of this too. They're going to get grouchy. You might get grouchy. I might. It will not just be the virus that finds opportunity, and you will have to say, I am sorry, and that will be decent of you. Mary Beth Danielson from this congregation included a quote from Camus in her blog last week. If you don't know already, Mary Beth is keeping a daily quarantine diary. I highly recommend it. Anyway, the quote comes from Dr. Ryu in the book The Plague, which is, of course, a metaphor, but which so closely parallels our actual lives these days. Dr. Ryu says, this whole thing is not about heroism, it's about decency. It may seem like a ridiculous idea, but the only way to fight the plague is with decency. Sorry is a step toward that. I hope that we come through this with a stronger sense of our interconnectedness, that we are more decent with each other, and that we can move beyond. Blessed be.
Life's pleasures and count its many tears, while we all sup sorrow with the poor. There's a song that will linger forever in our ears. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis a song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. While we seek mirth and beauty and music light and gay, there are frail forms fading by the door. Though their voices are silent, their pleading looks will say, oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis a song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis a sigh that is wafted across the troubled wave. 'Tis a will that is heard upon the shore. 'Tis a dirge that is murmured around a lowly grave. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis a song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more.
Thank you, Alex. Once again, Coffee Hour begins at 11:30. I hope that you have found this online service to be worthwhile. We're compelled to social distancing, but it is social connection that brings us joy. Find ways to connect. Go wherever you go. In love, seek justice, find peace.